The motion is for the chair to form a BET committee to investigate and to report back in 32 days. So please advise, as I'm thinking about this committee, what it is that you envision the committee will actually be doing in 32 days. I would. One of your
I believe
colleagues.
this is a fair question, and I thank you. And I'll start out with, being that we're going to talk about environment and our answers, I will start out with saying how I think before Mr. Raymer even spoke, I think we had agreed on the byproduct of this together. And I appreciate his comments, and I think David Weisbrod said the same thing. So this committee, as I understand it, will look, first of all, there's a significant package, obviously, from the submittal to the SEEC, if I can use the abbreviation. I think that the conversation that still exists is, what are our goals? The goals are, how do we stop this going forward in town? I think the next thing that would be is a series of dialogue on the timeline for this. You know, I'm hearing all of the, I'll use the word that I don't like, I'm hearing the political attack, and I'll respond to that. We didn't consider it anything but politics when the campaigns and the picnics were going on and the money was being spent, and there was certainly an illusion of, wow, this is incredible. I would say I wish we had that kind of resources to do that, but we didn't. So it started political, and tonight's event is not something, I'm going to use the word again, the Republicans, there was only 4 members who submitted that as per our rules, although we're all in support of it, but it wasn't the Republicans making tonight's problem. It was the actions during the election, filing of forms with the state and doing one thing and saying one thing and doing another. But with that said, I would ask the committee to hold, obviously, sit-down sessions. These conversations that we're having right now, Ms. Crumick, besides drifting off the subject, I think your comments there were well-founded. I'd love to expand on those. But I think between the dialogue between the SEC, there will be, hopefully, 3 documents. There's 2 currently now on the SEC webpage. I know that the 3rd one's in draft and it might not be approved yet by the SEC, but I think we'll take the working documents from there. There seems to be one other subject that has caught the attention, and that is the subject of, while this was going on, who was privy to this and what the conversations were about sharing the cost, et cetera. There seems to be a disagreement even in the newspaper reports on that from comments from members on this board, not from
Mr.
us.
Mason, I asked you what you expected the committee
So I think
to accomplish.
I think the committee will sit down and go through that information and report back to the BET on the incidents that happened, the recommendations to the BET, how we can prevent this from happening again and moving forward. And that's, I think, the only transparent, we're the only board that can do this in the town, and this is how I envision the committee to work.